Good evening, everyone. My name is Jonathan, and I'm excited to tell you a little bit more about myself. Just a little bit more about me is I am 25 years old. I do come from a Mexican background. Both my parents are from Acapulco, Guerrero. It's a very nice touristy place. Unfortunately, I have never gone to visit, but I'm getting the works of visiting to our hometown, which in this upcoming year. Just a little bit more about my personal background. I do have two sisters, one of them who is younger, one of them who was older. I am the middle child and the only boy, so I do get a little bit more privileges, just a little bit more freedom in general. I do love to spend time with my family. I do have a niece. This is every now and then I'll get a little baby fever when I see a baby, but just a couple hours with her, it takes it right away. But I do love that kid. As far as my career and education goals, I do plan to transfer to Cal State Fullerton, and my major is into cybersecurity, and I'm planning to get my degree in that. Cybersecurity got my attention just because I do work in retail sales as specifically T-Mobile. I just seen a lot of people how they mainly a lot of the older folks they get scammed. Some of them luckily they were able to um, were prevented from getting scammed. Other people that I've helped with, I've known they lost anywhere from around 2 to 7,000. Um, so for that reason, I want to be able to help and get a better understanding of how this can be possible and how they can still get away with this. And it's a little bit more scary now that most of our stuff has to do with technology. One of my hobbies specifically is I do love to work out with weight training specifically. And I have been going to the gym for around 2 to 3 years. On top of that, just within the last year, I get one of my good accomplishments was I did lose 40 pounds within a course of 5 months. It was very difficult, but it is doable, and I can say it helped me both mentally and physically. So if you guys wanna, I would highly recommend getting into the gym, and then it's a great feeling. It's either just one step at a time, but once you get there and you see results, it's the best feeling ever. Just a little bit more of a quick life lesson. I actually have a couple. One of them would be just live your life to the fullest. I did have a cousin who passed away around 7 years ago. He was 25 at the time. He did get into a motorcycle accident, unfortunately. But he was such a he was very young. Now that I am his age, I never understood how people would say, oh, he was very young. But now that I'm the age around that he passed away, I can say, one, you are very young. Another quick life lesson, at least for myself, was I always tend to be like a little shy person a bit. I kind of, especially like in public areas, I always just look around my surroundings. I did have like a moment in which it was a little wake up call for me. There was a time at the gym where I was working out and everything was good until I realized I looked down and then I had mismatched socks. So it was two different socks, and then for some reason my brain just it went on. It just like what's the word? Just a little spiral, I guess. I started like overthinking. I was like, oh, people are gonna make fun of me. And then for some reason, I just looked up. I was squatting at the time. I just looked up at the weights, and it's pretty impressive weight that I was carrying. But it just kind of made me realize after I hit the weights, a lot of people were just giving me like compliments of the weights I was carrying. Yeah, it was a good amount. But yeah, a lot of people were like, hey, like they're giving me a congrats on the weight that I was doing. That nobody was paying attention to my socks, and even if they were, like they would just laugh about it, move on forward. But for some reason, I always tend to overthink those little things. So that's one of the things I'm still working on. Little step by step, I'm pushing forward, and hopefully we can get rid of that little anxiety. But thank you guys, and hope you guys do good. And it's